Yeah, you need to use that. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. عرض سلام دارم خدمت دوستان عزیز از رسانه‌های داخلی و بین المللی. بسیار خوشحالم که برای اولین بار به عنوان نماینده عالی اتحادیه اروپا در امور سیاست خارجی و دفاعی سرکار خانم موگرینی که بیگانه با ایران نیستند و قبلا هم در ایران به عنوان شهروند حضور داشتند، امروز به عنوان مسئول سیاست خارجی اتحادیه اروپا در یک فصلی نو از روابط ایران و اتحادیه اروپا به ایران سفر میکنن. خوش آمد میگم به شما در تهران. ما و اتحادیه اروپا دارای روابط گسترده‌ای بوده ایم و امیدواریم که با عبور از بحرانی که به نظر ما بحران بیدلیل و بحران غیر ضروری بود، از طریق توافقی که بین ایران و گروه 3 به اضافه 3 یا اونچه که ما بهش میگیم 5 به اضافه 1 شکل گرفت، ما وارد مرحله جدیدی بشیم. در سفر امروز خانم موگرینی ما بحث‌های بسیار خوبی داشتیم در مورد اجرای برنامه جامع اقدام مشترک یا همون برجام و همینطور در مورد آینده روابط ایران و اتحادیه اروپا. در بحث اول اقداماتی که باید بین امروز یا از روزی که جمع‌بندی در وین صورت گرفت تا روز توافق که در فاصله 60 تا 70-80 روز آینده به اون روز خواهیم رسید، اقداماتی باید صورت بگیره، هم از طرف ما هم از طرف اعضای اتحادیه اروپا، که هم اقدامات طرف ما شروع شده و هم اقدامات اتحادیه اروپا شروع شده و تصمیم گیری های اولیه لازم توسط اتحادیه اروپا با تصویب جمع‌بندی اتحادیه در حمایت از برنامه جامع اقدام مشترک شکل گرفت و امیدواریم با همین روش اقدامات دو طرف، همکاری ایران با آژانس بین‌المللی انرژی اتمی برای حل و فصل موضوعات باقی مانده و همینطور اقدامات اتحادیه اروپا و ایالات متحده آمریکا برای آماده سازی برای لغو تحریم ها جنبه اجرایی به خودش بگیره و بتوانیم در زمان مناسب اقداماتی که طرفین در مورد اون توافق کردند رو انجام بدیم. همینطور در مورد موضوعات مورد علاقه ایران و اتحادیه اروپا صحبت کردیم. خب ما در طول چندین سال گذشته بحث هامون با اتحادیه اروپا بیشتر متمرکز بر موضوع هسته‌ای بوده، در صورتی که قبل از اون ما دوره‌هایی از گفتگو با اتحادیه اروپا رو داشتیم که یک زمانی به عنوان گفتگوهای انتقادی و بعد از اون به عنوان گفتگوهای جامع شناخته میشد. ما امروز تصمیم گرفتیم که یک دور جدیدی از گفتگو رو بین ایران و اتحادیه اروپا شروع کنیم که بر اساس روشی که اتحادیه اروپا داره این رو بهش گفتگوهای سطح بالا یا های لول تاکس خواهیم گفت، نه دیگه جامع نه انتقادی بلکه گفتگوهای سطح بالا. این گفتگوها در آینده نزدیک در سطح معاونین وزارت امور خارجه و معاون سرکار خانم موگرینی شروع خواهد شد و به تدریج در سطح وزرا ادامه خواهد یافت. موضوعات مختلفی در این گفتگوها مورد نظر طرفین هست که حوزه‌های همکاری آینده ما و اتحادیه اروپا خواهد بود و در همین زمینه امیدواریم که اقداماتی هم صورت بگیره. این موضوعات شامل انرژی، حمل و نقل، تجارت، محیط زیست، حقوق بشر، مسائل مربوط به مواد مخدر و سایر حوزه‌های همکاری است که ما و اتحادیه اروپا در اون زمینه‌ها گفتگو خواهیم کرد و همینطور زمینه‌های همکاری و اقدامات مشترک رو دنبال خواهیم کرد. همینطور توافق کردیم که در این گفتگوهای سطح بالا موضوعات منطقه‌ای رو هم مورد توجه قرار بدیم، بحران‌هایی که در منطقه شکل گرفته و نه تنها تهدیدی برای منطقه ماست بلکه تهدید جدی برای کل جهان و مخصوصاً برای اعضای اتحادیه اروپا است. مشکل افراطگرایی، مشکل فرقه‌گرایی و تروریسم که در منطقه ما امروز خشونت و ناامنی ایجاد کرده، همزمان در کشورهای عضو اتحادیه اروپا هم به خشونت و درگیری انجام میده و این نگرانی مشترک ماست که باید به اون بپردازیم. لذا من پیش بینی میکنم که علاوه بر اقداماتی که برای اجرای برجام ما خواهیم داشت، اقداماتی هم برای همکاری در حوزه‌های مختلف، در همون حوزه‌های متنوعی که به بعضی از اونها اشاره کردم شکل خواهد گرفت. یک بار دیگه من به سرکار خانم موگرینی و هیئت همراهشون در جمهوری اسلامی خوش آمد میگم. از نقش مثبتی که داشتند در رسیدن به برنامه جامع اقدام مشترک، هم سرکار خانم موگرینی هم همکار محترمشون سرکار خانم دکتر شمید تشکر میکنم و امیدوارم که این یک شروع جدیدی باشه برای روابطی مبتنی بر احترام متقابل و همکاری مشترک در حوزه‌های منافع مشترک. خوش آمد.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Let me start by thanking you for the invitation to visit Tehran so early after the deal was reached exactly 2 weeks ago in Vienna. Thanks to the hard work, the dedication and the commitment of all delegations involved, all teams involved, but let me thank your personal commitment in this process. The personal commitment of Dr. Salehi, of all your negotiating team, and the support, the personal and political support that clearly was there from the President and the Supreme Leader. This is something that made the deal possible. And I think that this deal has shown very clearly that diplomacy and multilateralism do bring results if all the parties are committed with strong political will and with patience and with determination. And I think this was a good news for the entire region, for the world. And indeed, now it is time to show that not only reaching the deal, but starting to work on the implementation of the deal is going to be historical. This is the first reason of my visit, 2 weeks after, to start the concrete work on the implementation of the deal on all sides. On the European side, we have done some steps. On the international community side, on the Iranian side, we want this deal to be historical not only in the signing of it, but also in the implementation of it. It is going to be obviously, it's an agreement that is a nuclear-related agreement, but its potential is much wider, much broader than this. It is a deal that has the potential to open a new chapter, at least in 4 different areas. First of all, for Iran and for the Iranian people. And in particular, I know 60%, around 60% of your population is under 30. I think this is an investment that your leadership is doing in the future of your country and in the younger generations. Second, it is indeed an investment in a new chapter in the relations between Iran and the international community, building trust. And I think the unanimous vote at the Security Council of the United Nations of the resolution endorsing the agreement is in itself something historical, especially in these times. Third, as you very well said, it is going to open, as it is implemented, a new chapter in the relations between Iran and the European Union. Here, let me stress what you mentioned already. Europe and Iran are close geographically. We are the closest ones when it comes to geography, when it comes to history, when it comes to culture. Europe and Iran, we both know what it means to be the cradle of civilization, of civilizations, different ones, but ones that are used to confront the legacy of our past and of our history. We know what it means to be true to our legacy, and that's why today I come here with the strength of speaking on behalf of all the 28 member states, of all the European institutions, having endorsed unanimously the agreement and having stated unanimously that we are ready to not only support the implementation of agreement but also do our own part to make it real. This is the work that we need to do now, a work consistent, substantial, to start the implementation. I will keep a personal key role in this process, coordinating the work of the Joint Commission in the future, and I am sure we will continue to work in the same dedicated, committed and fair way that has led us to reaching the agreement, in mutual respect that comes from our history and from our mutual interest that is indeed strong. Europe and Iran used to have very strong ties, not only culturally, geographically, but also economically, on trade. On this in particular, I think it is important for me personally to stress here that when sanctions will be lifted, hand in hand with the implementation of the agreement, you can expect major attention from the EU investments business area, and this is also going to be important. But we also share a region. Somehow we share the Middle East, the Mediterranean region from two different sides, from east and from west, but somehow we are neighbors. And the fourth chapter, the new chapter we can open, this agreement can lead to open, is a different framework for the region. This is probably going to be one of the most difficult chapters to be opened, but I believe that this is going to be one of the most relevant ones. If we will manage to support a different understanding of the dynamics in the region, one that is based on cooperation rather than confrontation or competition, this would lead to benefits for all in the region and beyond. And I believe that there will be an added value in a process that could hopefully find solutions to many crises around us, starting from the one in Syria and the fight against terrorism, but also others. And count on the European Union to do its part to support a different regional framework based on, hopefully, the building of trust. On bilateral issues, I cannot but underline what you said already. This is something that is going to be important, I believe, also for the international and regional relations. This is a chapter also that we are very much looking forward to open, with perspectives of working together on bilateral, on regional, and on international issues. And let me thank you very much for, again, the leadership, the commitment, the dedication that made this possible, and the willingness to work together with the same determination for the future, because the deal is not the end of a process. On the contrary, it's a beginning of a process on which we have to continue working in a very serious and determined way. I thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. ضمن عرض سلام و خیر مقدم خدمت خانم موگرینی، مسئول محترم سیاست خارجی اتحادیه اروپا، و همینطور عرض سلام و خسته نباشید خدمت جناب آقای دکتر ظریف، وزیر محترم به امور خارجه کشورمون. سوالا رو آغاز می‌کنیم با طرح اولین پرسش از طرف آقای مرادپور، خبرگزاری ایرنا.
سلام علیکم. خیر مقدم عرض می‌کنم خدمت خانم موگرینی و سوالم از ایشون هست. با توجه به توافق هسته‌ای شما چشم انداز همکاری‌های آتی ایران و اتحادیه اروپا رو به چه نحو می‌بینید؟ و از طرف دیگه با توجه به ابراز علاقه شرکت‌های اروپایی برای حضور در بازار ایران خواستم ببینم که اتحادیه اروپا چه تسهیلاتی برای این شرکت‌ها خواهد داشت. متشکرم.
As I said, the lifting of the sanctions going hand in hand with the implementation of the nuclear deal will create opportunities for European investors in Iran, but also for Iran to invest in its own people, in its own future. And obviously, this is something that on the European Union side we will accompany in two different ways. First of all, having a coordinated approach of the European presence here. That is, I would like to underline it, not only an economic and trade one, it's going to be not only an economic and trade one, but first of all, a political one. That's why it's so important that we develop this political dialogue on the issues that are relevant for both of us in the region. Secondly, I think that our best way of accompanying this process is going to be making sure that the implementation of the agreement proceeds smoothly and on time, and in full respect of all the details we have written in the more than 100 pages we have so long negotiated in this last months. Implementing it full, the agreement is the best possible way of opening up the way to investments and trade relations also with Europe. This is going to go in parallel, and my personal role in facilitating this process, making sure that the implementation from all sides will be substantial and consistent, is going to be the best way in which I believe we can accompany this process.
Thank you. متاسفانه به دلیل ضیق وقت و با عذرخواهی از خبرنگاران آخرین سوال رو خانم لیز دوست از BBC World News می‌پرسند.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Zarif, and Your Excellency, Ms. Mogherini. Mr. Zarif, when it comes to implementation, how worried are you about whether Iran can keep its commitments? As you know, some senior officials have said that some of Iran's red lines have been crossed in this deal. And to you, Ms. Mogherini, you've just come from Saudi Arabia and had talks there. I know Mr. Zarif has said that relations with his neighbours is a top priority. How convinced are you now that you can convince the region that this is a deal that is good for them too? Thank you. Heli Mamnu.
Thank you. Yes, I was in Saudi Arabia yesterday. I was happy to know that we were visiting the region, different countries, but we were visiting the region in parallel. And I think this is a first important thing to underline. I see a strong political will and commitment by Minister Zarif personally and by the Iranian leadership to commit to open a new season, a new chapter in the relation with the neighbors. And my personal commitment is exactly this one, to pass a message to all of this region, to the Gulf, to the Middle East, but also to the international community at large and to the European Union, that this agreement is an agreement that is going to improve the security, first of all, of this region, being a non-proliferation agreement, and being an agreement that is a solid one, a good one. This is the starting point. But as I said, this gives us also the potential to build on it and try to build relations based on trust and confidence. We know this is not the case today, otherwise we will probably not have taken so many years and months to negotiate an agreement. But I think this gives us a solid, bright basis for a different future. And we all know very well how badly this region and the world need a different kind of future, a future based really on cooperation and not on confrontation. This is the basis of European diplomacy. This is the basis of multilateralism, dialogue, and trying to create situations where all parties have an interest in winning and not a zero-sum game. This is the philosophy of European diplomacy, and this is, I hope, the basis for a different regional framework.
جمهوری اسلامی از ابتدا هر زمانی که تعهدی کرده به تعهد خودش پایبند بوده و این پایبندی در دوران اجرای برنامه اقدام مشترک در ژنو که در طول 20 ماه گذشته توسط ما با جدیت و با دقت اجرا شده کاملا مشهوده. البته مردم ایران نسبت به گرایش‌ها و سیاست‌های برخی کشورهای غربی نگرانی‌هایی دارند و ضرورت داره که با اجرای جدی و دقیق و منطبق با توافق برنامه جامع اقدام مشترک کشورهای غربی به ویژه ایالات متحده تلاش بکنند که بی‌اعتمادی مردم ایران نسبت به سیاست‌های خودشون رو جبران بکنند و از طریق جبران این بی‌اعتمادی انشالله فصل جدیدی در این زمینه باز بشه. من هیچ گونه نگرانی ندارم که پس از اینکه توافق یا برجام مراحل قانونی خودش رو در ایران طی بکنه، جمهوری اسلامی نسبت به اونچه که بهش تعهد کرده کاملا پایبند خواهد. خیلی متشکر. ببخشید ما باید برسیم خدمت رئیس جمهور، نمیتونیم بیشتر در خدمت شما باشیم.